Use the Force, Luke.
Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer. What a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
Hey ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Your ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 83 of A Play on Nerds. As always, I'm Steve. This is
Jarman. Delayed reaction Jarman.
And we are both the other guys.
Yep.
That's I think it was 2 episodes ago we described ourselves, we're both the other guy, and that's about as accurate as it gets.
We're not the alpha males of the group. We're the guys who don't care enough to do that.
We're 2 betas that add up to an A-. Like that's
It's not that we're submissive, we're just too lazy to be taking all that charge.
That's true. Yeah. It's just a lot of pressure, and I'm good.
And during the zombie apocalypse, we might take over from like the background, like with machinations, but they wouldn't know we'd be in charge.
Oh yeah, we're that guy whispering in the ear.
Yeah, worm tongue.
We're more like Iago,
Iago.
in Aladdin than anything.
Oh my gosh!
And I just have to squint a lot.
Did we already say what we're going to be featuring this episode?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So this episode, we're going to bring you a classic with a new twist. Copycat Cinema, the original bit and one of the central pillars of our original show.
Oh, yeah.
We are bringing it back this week with a special TV edition of Copycat Cinema featuring The Orville versus Star Trek Discovery.
Woohoo! So we know everybody's reviewing Star Trek Discovery right now, but we want to put a new spin on it and put our old spin on it, I guess.
That's right. And our spin is that we are the only people talking about the Orville.
Some people are mentioning it, but yeah, they're not really going in depth about it.
We're gonna dive into the Orville. But before we get to that, Jarman, what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Well, I think that we recorded the last episode a while back, and I got delayed editing it and posting it because of Hurricane Irma, and I'm in Orlando, so that screwed me over for a while. Just I had to be home, like cleaning up my yard, and also the power was out at my studio, and luckily the power never went out at my home, so I was fine there.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. But so sorry that episode being so out of place with time. Like we recorded pretty soon after the Series 7 finale of Game of Thrones, and then it came out like a week and a half later or something.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is we tried.
We tried. And I was going to put like a message at the beginning of the episode saying, hey, this was recorded back then. But then I was like, that'll date the episode later on. Like if someone else is listening to the back catalog, they'll like.
That's right. For all the people going back and powering through.
Hey, when we're both rich and famous, they're going to do that. So
that's right. This is going to be. People are going to listen to this someday.
Exactly.
This will be used in the court case against us.
That's probably more accurate.
That's right.
The worst part of Hurricane Katrina for me came afterwards because it was fun during the hurricane. We had a few people over playing board games. The power never went out. We got really lucky, very fortunate. We had huge stores of food and water that we didn't need. But then 2 days later, a tree fell in our backyard. The top of it just broke off, this huge tree, and it just smashed the fence on the left. And then about a week later, a giant tree from our neighbor's yard fell forward into both of our yards and my driveway, almost hitting my girlfriend's car, smashing the awning of their house and part of the awning of our house. And so there is a pile of cut up trees in front of our yard that's almost as tall as our house. And Orlando says they probably won't be able to take it away for a few months because there's so much yard trash everywhere. It's just disgusting looking. There's just like rotting wood on everyone's lawn. And they said it'll take a few months to get rid of all of it because there's just not enough trucks, not enough people.
Yeah. And not enough places to put it.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do, but our house is really ugly right now until this is sorted out.
Well, good. I'm glad you came out on the positive side of the hurricane.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, our house is fine. I mean, we didn't lose power or internet, so we're really fortunate. And poor Puerto Rico right now is going through hell. So, and they are American citizens. So help them out. Puerto Rico.
That's right. And then maybe think about becoming a state.
Yeah, how about that? That'd be cool.
Just think about it. Consider it. Think about it.
They might not want to until Trump's out of office. But.
And I don't think I can blame them. But
right.
they can vote and stuff. So, I mean, come on. Become a state. It'll be fine.
There you go. So what have you been up to?
Let's see. We've had a sick Joyce over the weekend.
Oh, your baby's been sick?
Yeah, she's just throwing up and stuff, and her tummy's just generally not pleased.
Oh, that's not cool.
And last night was up for like an hour and a half, just kind of generally mad. Like, not like over, like she wasn't screaming or anything, but just, and finally just threw up all over the bed, just everywhere. And then was just done. We laid her down and she just stared at us. She had nothing left.
That's how I feel when I'm nauseous all day. I'd probably be saying the same thing.
But yeah, so just dealing with a sick kid. My parents are coming to town in a few weeks, so we're getting ready for that.
Oh, very nice.
And then I've had a few big changes at work. Being sort of at the low end of the totem pole, giant things can change like overnight, and so now I've got a whole new set of bosses, and we've been reorganized.
I remember that from my CNN days. They would just change everything the next week. Like, what the hell? What happened?
Yeah. So my immediate manager is the same, but everything from her up is different now.
But doesn't affect your day-to-day job too much?
Not too much, but we're under new management.
Gotcha.
Change, good or bad, is going to come.
Right. Well, that's pretty eventful.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks and advances on the work front.
And you've been watching good TV in that time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there have been some okay things, such as Star Trek Discovery.
And the Orville.
Sure, that too.
So yeah, we'll figure that out later. We'll tell you guys how that works, the whole copycat.
We'll break it down if you haven't figured it out. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, I think it's time for some nerdy news.
Nerdy news.
It's time for Nerdy News.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. So researchers from both Harvard and MIT have joined together to make these bioresponsive tattoos.
I think I heard about those a while ago. I didn't know if they were real or not.
And then, so the idea of these different pigments are replaced with these things that become brighter or darker depending on different things, including pH level, so they can tell your level of dehydration.
Oh, wow.
And then another one that they were successful with was it being able to read your blood sugar.
Oh, it'd be great for diabetics, yeah.
Right. So that's sort of the eventual idea once it's perfected is that a diabetic could get a tattoo and have a constant eye on what their blood sugar is.
That's great. See, I'd actually get a tattoo then if it had a purpose and an effect,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, in one of the earliest human remains, they found this like Icelandic guy who died in the peat, thousands of years ago. Also, they found the oldest tattoos on him, and there were basically like runes on a few of his joints, like on his wrists and on both of his ankles. And X-ray of that revealed that all of the joints that had like the markings on them, the tattoos, also had some sort of joint disease in them.
So leading to them believe.
Right. It was some sort of rune or external marking meant to relieve pain or relieve the sickness.
And what if they really worked? It was real magic.
That's right. We should all get runes.
Hey, my buddy AJ from college got Nordic runes on his
if that is part, I was waiting for you to fill in the blank there. That could have gone a lot of ways.
On his
what do you call it? Is it the chode? Is that,
no.
that fleshy little area? Is that?
No, I always tell this story because he got these tattoos on his rib cage, and it's one of the most painful places you can get a tattoo.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Skin there, and it's like a lot of nerve endings there. But and so he's always so over masculine all the time back then. He's gotten a lot better. He's changed quite a bit since then. But he was like, "Oh yeah, that doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt." I'm like, "Come on, buddy, it hurts. I mean, it's on your rib cage. It's okay to say it hurts." And he's like, "No, doesn't hurt at all. Doesn't hurt at all." He's like sitting there, like see like the one tear falling out of his eye. It's like, "Come on, man, just admit it. It hurts."
Have you ever seriously considered, even momentarily, getting a tattoo?
Oh, of course, I've considered it, but never gotten much past consideration.
Okay, if you what have you toyed around with?
I've toyed around with the idea for years of the Starfleet communicator on my left chest.
Like where it would be. Like
Yeah,
where it
exactly.
would be.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
I like that.
So I thought about that. I did have to find a pretty design of it that wasn't just like an outline or something. It'd be kind of neat looking, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just never, if it had a purpose though, like your news story, then I'd actually more consider it. I'd be like, oh, well, it's actually reading my blood sugar too. That's really cool.
Oh yeah. That'd be crazy if
Yeah.
that became a thing. And they, once again, these researchers think that this is like the next step beyond wearables.
Yeah.
Like wearables are the big craze right now. A watch that can sense that you're about to have a heart attack, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But injectables and livables. We'll call them livables.
Help you live.
Yeah, bam. I'm coining the term right now, livables.
I want a tattoo that tells me if I have any cancerous cells in my body anywhere. That would be
God.
amazing. Because then I'd be like, okay, get me to a MRI quick, or whatever the CAT scan, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Whatever magic they're using these days. Get me in it.
The thing that shows me where the cancer is. Do it.
I just want one that lets me know if I've got gas.
I think you know when you got gas.
Oh, my arm's glowing red. It's going to be a rough night.
I'll sleep on the couch, honey.
If it's red, you're not in bed.
That's their motto. You have it already. That's perfect. We should copyright this.
I also coined that. Let it be known.
If it's red, you shouldn't be in bed.
But yeah, that's the future I want to live in.
Yeah, me too. All sorts of weird tattoos on my body.
What story do you bring us?
I gave a great little kitschy name for mine. Doomsday Butterflies. So
I like it. Go
hails from your former hometown of Seattle. In Seattle, all over town, mostly in the parks, there's been found all these origami butterflies. And they don't know where they're coming from. This was a while, like maybe about a week and a half ago. So they have strange messages on them. Most of them say things like, "You are not safe. All gods must die." They all point to a website called allgodsmustdie.com, which is in itself very weird. It has like
Let's take a look.
It has like prophecies and stuff on it. It says, "Do not be alarmed. We mean you no harm, but we have come to invade your safe space." It has a weird messages about God on it and Psalms, and it's very weird. But someone's put
the 10th mark.
Yeah, the 10th mark.
Whatever the hell that is.
They had weird prophecies about the 28th of September on them, too, which came and went and nothing happened. So that's so much for that. But people were pissed off because it was just littering everywhere, these origami butterflies someone had to meticulously fold. And they have weird imagery on them. And what's some of the things they said? The paper also contains the date 9/28/2017 and images of Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson, Kurt Cobain, the Starbucks mermaid, and the Seattle skyline. However, the skyline images are curiously missing the Seattle Space Needle, one of the city's most iconic landmarks and buildings. As if insinuating, I guess they're going to blow up the Space Needle or something, or someone was going to. But nothing happened. So that was a little event that happened in Seattle.
Wow, that is crazy. This website is insane.
Yeah, it's really weird. They think it has
just crazy.
Some weird like anti-feminist stuff on it and anti-LGBTQ women's rights group.
And they have like directed messages based on who you are.
It's very weird.
So it's like messages to pagans, and you click on it, and it's their message to you if you're a pagan.
Ooh,
messages to religious leaders, and you click on it, and it's their message to you if you're a religious leader.
And be careful if you scroll down his website because it has a dead fetus picture on.
There is. I was shocked to see that, but it is definitely there.
So don't.
There's also rainbow hands that are dripping blood. It's a lot of weird imagery, but check it out. It's kind of crazy.
As long as you don't mind that.
All gods must die, or the 10thmark.com. One or the other.
It's very weird.
We're not endorsing this site. Let's make this clear.
Not at all. They're nutbags.
Planet Nerds does not endorse anything you're going to see on this site. We're just saying if you're looking for something weird, maybe take a look and don't take it too seriously.
But I'll have to update if I hear anything more. If they give an update about how that date passed and went and nothing happened, and see what happens. But yeah, there you go.
All right. Shit. Well, good luck to all of us.
Yes.
So now, before we get into our main segment of Copycat Cinema TV edition, I've got some trivia for Jarman. And because this is, we're talking about Star Trek ultimately, I've got some Star Trek trivia, and I think I've got some difficult stuff. And I made it difficult since this is your realm.
Oh, good. Hope I can do it. Hope I won't embarrass myself.
So I hope I give you a chance to shine.
Engage.
All right. I've got 7 questions. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready, number 1.
All right. Which Star Trek film was the first to win an Oscar?
Oh, crap. You know what? I think it was probably the Star Trek 2009 for some kind of special effects.
Now, you are right. It was Best Makeup.
Yes.
Good work.
Which is sad, but true.
Trek Fest is held annually in which Midwest town?
Trek Fest.
It's like apparently the longest running.
Detroit?
No, that is Riverside, Iowa.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. That's where Captain Kirk was born.
There you go.
Damn it, German.
All right. What is the exact name of the only species to be able to resist the Borg?
Species 8427?
I'm sorry. 8472.
Damn it.
There's a reason I said specific.
The two numbers were switched. That was it.
That was good. No, you did very well. You did very well.
8472.
But you're still wrong. You're still wrong and you get nothing.
That's funny.
Okay. If you know this one, I'll be blown away. How many episodes of the original series does Kirk appear shirtless in?
Oh, God. Like, I'm horrible at, like, the counting of these things.
Well, you better get good quick.
I'd say it's not as many as people think, because after the first season, he wasn't shirtless much, because he was wearing a girdle. 6.
No, it is 13.
Wow, more than I
It
thought.
is as many people as people think.
Well, out of 79 episodes, he's only shirtless in 13. That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Right. What color was Spock's skin originally supposed to be, but was changed during production due to the broadcast being on black and white televisions?
Green.
I'm sorry, that's wrong.
What? Was it blue?
It was originally supposed to be red, and then ended up being a pale green.
Oh. Because I know they did
Because
pale green,
the
and
red
eventually they phased out the green even because it wasn't
they made
noticeable.
him less and less green.
Right.
But it was originally supposed to be red, but on black and white television, that would appear dark-skinned.
And now I'm remembering something about it not doing red because he looked too devil-like or something, too. I don't
Maybe.
know. Vague memory of that.
This is what the internet had to say. Who knows?
They must be right.
All right. All right. This actor has played a Romulan, a Klingon, and a Vulcan.
That would be Mark Leonard.
That is correct. I will give you a bonus point if you can tell me at least two of the roles.
Sarek is the Vulcan he plays.
Yep, in movie 3, 4, and 6, and on the animated series, supposedly.
And one of the episodes of the original series. I would not know the Romulan and Vulcan and Klingon names because they were only in one thing.
Yeah, he played some Vulcan captain in the original series.
Yeah.
And then he was the Klingon captain in the opening of the original motion picture.
Right.
That gets blown out of the sky by V'ger.
He's got a great voice, too.
All right. This is your last one.
All right.
What is Uhura's first name?
Nyota.
That is correct, Nyota. All right. So for my expert level Star Trek quiz, you got 3 right, and you were pretty damn close on 2 others.
That was so close to that 8-4.
You had the knowledge in your head, you just didn't arrange it correctly.
Right. I got dyslexic with my answer.
So I'm going to round it up to 4 points.
Out of how many?
Out of a possible 7.
Oh, man. I still feel bad about that.
That's not bad, though. I picked these because I expected them to be hard.
Yeah, especially the names of his other characters. That would be like expert level. So,
Well, I mean, you wouldn't even tell me the name, but if you could at least have told me what they were.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Okay, so I rounded it up to 4 points.
Good.
So that's what
fine.
you get.
Perfect.
So now I think that moves us into our main segment of Copycat Cinema Television Edition. As usual in Copycat Cinema, we each pick a side and argue why that side is better than the other. This week, because I like making German itch, I am going to be arguing on behalf of Star Trek Discovery, and he is going to have to argue why the Orville is the superior show.
If you're in debate club, you don't always debate the thing you believe in.
No, not always.
All right, so we're basically gonna defend them, and I don't know. Do we talk a little bit about the episodes first before we?
Yeah, let's do a brief kind of breakdown summary.
Right, because we usually do for the movies too.
Yeah. I'll start with Star Trek Discovery.
Sure,
because that's the one I think we want to talk about more. So it starts on desert planet. Captain and her number 2 or number 1, whatever, are there to, open up a well because the planet's about to go through a giant drought and it's going to kill off some inhabitants. They get picked up. We see the ship for the first time. Suddenly, they get called out to check out like a beacon or something.
And it's not Discovery yet. It's the Shinzo or whatever.
Yeah, the Shinzo. Some beacon that's been destroyed or disabled. They go out, they find it. While they're out there, they find this Klingon shrine thing, which ends up being attached to this giant ship.
Right.
And they're basically now in this standoff with the Klingons.
Because they're calling back all 24 tribes of the Klingons to all come together and come as one under Kahless.
Yeah. Remain Klingon. They're simple. Whatever he said. That.
Exactly.
So now suddenly they find themselves almost in an all-out war. The second in command says we should hit them before they hit us. They hesitate. She commits mutiny against the captain to try to save everyone. And then ends up getting overruled just in time for the rest of the Klingons to show up and start an all-out war with Starfleet.
Right.
Both sides take heavy losses, but ultimately I think Starfleet kind of comes out the loser.
Yeah, like they barely escape with any of the troops left, or any of their ships left, and they realize they're at war.
Yeah, and so the second in command and the captain beam on to the now disabled enemy ship to try to capture the Klingon, I guess, religious leader, for lack of a better term.
Takuvma.
He ends up killing the captain. The second in command ends up killing him in a moment of rage. He becomes a martyr that then becomes the catalyst that unites the Klingon Empire.
If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Thanks, Obi-Wan. Meanwhile, despite the fact that, yes, ultimately her call was correct and they should have attacked first, she still committed,
mutiny,
a crime. And so she is tried, found to be a prisoner, and is to be imprisoned for life.
And if you see the preview of this tonight's episode, we're actually recording this on Sunday, October 1st. The preview for tonight's episode shows that she'll be on the Discovery somehow. They need her as some kind of consultant. And she's still kind of a prisoner there. And everyone's looking at her like she's a traitor and stuff. And we'll see how she comes out of that. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, Okay, yeah. Well, we don't need to get into it right now. So now let's talk about the Orville.
So the Orville, we have Captain Ed something. I've forgotten his name already, but it's played by Seth MacFarlane. He is, a guy who's been really depressed the year since his wife cheated on him, or fiance cheated on him. So he has been slacking in his job. He was going to be on the roster to be a captain, but after this past year, his chances were looking pretty slim. But he's given a chance by Victor Garber, who's Firestorm on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, I just started watching that show.
Yeah, he's great. He's a long-time actor, great singer, too. But he gives him, as an admiral, and he gives him a position on a ship as a captain, and it's the Orville, which is one of the most boring names you could have for a ship in the world. I don't know why they picked that name for the show. He's...
It's after the popcorn guy.
Yeah, or Redenbacher, the ship. And so then he finds out later that he's assigned his ex-fiancée who cheated on him as his first officer. They bump heads a little bit, but they start to respect each other in their positions because they do complement each other pretty well as far as officers go. Maybe some romance is budding there. We have a small female from an alien race who has lower gravity, so she's very strong on regular gravity. She's very scrappy. And we have...
a racist robot.
A racist robot who thinks he's superior to everyone from his planet. And then...
Who else?
The doctor is just a human doctor. She's an older actress, so I've seen a ton of stuff. She's really good.
The single-sex race, the second in command.
Right, and he's the... Chad Coleman plays his partner, his mate, who is on Walking Dead as... I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
He died not too long ago.
Chad Coleman. Yeah.
I think he was Sonequa Martin Green's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. That's actually a fun connection.
That is a fun connection between these two shows.
Hey, we found it.
He played Sonequa Martin Green character's brother on Walking Dead, and now they're both on these separate shows. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a single-sex race that lays eggs, and and they actually have a whole episode about them laying an egg, and it turned out to be a female, which is like heresy in their planet, and they discuss gender issues in that episode. But yeah, it's very serialized. It's very much like every episode is kind of standalone, kind of like the old days of Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah.
So it's not the same as discussing the story as Star Trek Discovery like we just did. So yeah, we'll get into it.
But yeah, so what do you want me to go first as to why Star Trek Discovery is superior?
Go ahead and try.
So Star Trek's Discovery is superior because it has an actual Star Trek soundtrack as opposed to the Orville, which has a knockoff B-version Star Trek soundtrack. Like, the Orville sounds like it's trying to be just enough Star Trek to not get sued, to the point where they may as well have just picked a whole different genre. Like, it's so blatant that I feel like they just shouldn't have done it at all.
Well, that goes directly into my first point of why that's actually a good thing. For those Star Trek fans who are so nitpicky and so angry about every small difference from The Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, nothing's been as good ever since, you should watch The Orville because it is shot, directed, it feels like the pacing of all those old shows. Like and even the transitions, the fade to black to commercial, the fade in.
Yeah, the fade to black to commercial was my biggest, like, whoa.
That's a 1990s thing where they stare at the camera after their last line and they look shocked and then it fades to black. Dun, dun, dun. I think it's every single time. And even the panning shots, the way they do it. So, I mean, and the music is, it's a little over orchestrated. Like there's music almost in every single scene, but that's kind of like the way the old shows were. So that's my first point, that if you think everything hasn't been Star Trek since those Star Trek shows, watch this and you'll feel like you're watching those old episodes, and and you won't be angry about any differences because it's a different universe, but it's pretty much exactly the same as Star Trek Next Generation as far as all those facets.
Yeah, true. My second point for why Discovery is better is because Discovery has like a cool twist to it that people just kind of weren't expecting, versus the Orville, which just was not advertised correctly. I feel like I did not get what was advertised.
Is that the fault of the show?
I guess. It means that the show was so weird that the advertisers didn't know what to do with it. So they advertise it as a madball comedy, and that is not what the Orville is.
So what's your point you're making here? That you know what you're getting with Star Trek Discovery? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think that Star Trek Discovery had a great twist.
Right.
We knew that the main character was not going to be the captain, but for them to be a disgraced prisoner, I think is starting us off in a completely different place than I ever expected to start off.
Well, that's something I was thinking about. Not one of my points, but it kind of goes to that effect, is that we already, within one episode, are liking the characters of the Orville. We know who we're going to be with. We've gotten to know them already really quickly. They kind of go through the exposition a little clunkily, but they get it out there. So it's just done, and you know the characters and you like them. Whereas we're 2 episodes into Discovery, and we don't even know who the main characters are going to be yet. I mean, we know from the advertising, but we haven't met them. We don't really know them very well. We only maybe care about Michael Burnham, the main character.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, we don't know what the hell's going on. So, I mean, I think in that regard, Orville has started off stronger because we already are invested in what these characters are doing and what they're saying and that kind of thing.
So I think to speak against that, though, I think that the characters in Discovery are more complex and then therefore going to take more than an episode or two to nail down, versus the Orvilles, which are very two-dimensional and very what you expect for such a serialized kind of version of a show you don't see that much anymore.
I will not disagree with that point.
Bam, that's right. That's right. Turned it around.
I already was thinking that, but I wasn't going to give it to you. But
that's right. Well, I could read it on your brainwaves.
But yeah, it's kind of like comparing, Law and Order SVU with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's going to take 5 seasons to like really give these characters a huge
That's
arc
true.
and get to know them and introduce new interesting characters. Whereas SVU, you have the same 5-10 characters every week.
Yeah, I can turn on any episode and be like, man, he's the angry one.
Right.
Like, I don't have to know much else.
Exactly. Oh, that's the guy who has a shadowy past.
He makes wisecracks, but really has a heart of gold.
She's got to stick up her ass, but really loves to let loose after work.
That's right. So yeah, I guess that was, I don't know whose point that was.
I think that was yours starting off with. So
But yeah,
my next
well made.
one, which is related to that, is that all the characters in the Orville act like relatable human beings, which is something that was blatantly missing from the idealized Star Trek future of Gene Roddenberry in his shows, where this feels like, yes, the Star Trek utopia future, but how people would actually speak and act. And I like that. It feels relatable, like they make dirty jokes. They react to situations the way you think a real person would. Like one of the most recent episodes of the Orville, Captain Ed, I keep forgetting what his last name is. We should probably look that up. He tries some of the locals' food. They just can't give him some food to eat while they're waiting for something to happen. And he's in the middle of a sentence, puts the food in his mouth, and then he's like stops in his tracks, and it's disgusting. And he's like, they're like, is something wrong? He's like, no. You guys have any napkins? And then he's like, where's your trash? It's just like, that's something that would really happen out in these worlds. You never see that happen in the Star Trek episodes. So, and I like that they don't have sticks up their asses. They're actually not just sterilized fleet officers. They're real characters that you can relate to.
All right, fair, I guess.
Well, it's like, I mean, we might get to know and like and relate to the characters in Discovery, but like you were saying, they're going to take time to get there.
The third point, my final point for Star Trek Discovery, is that I feel like they are doing that. I'm excited as someone who does not know much really about Star Trek to get to see what is clearly a big part of the universe's history, the Klingon conflict and how that started. But to get to see that fleshed out, from what I'm guessing, has really only been descriptions and minor mentions in the shows.
And then in non-canon novels, yeah.
Right. I'm excited to get to watch this part of that history play out.
Yeah, I will not disagree with that point. People are very anxious about that, and they weren't sure if exactly that's where it was going, but it looks like it's exactly where it's going now. And
yeah, I think they picked a great subject matter to drive a really good story, even for people that don't know that much about the universe.
And that's why people are relating it to Game of Thrones a lot, because they're saying like the Klingons being the White Walkers, and then all the people in the show will be like Game of Thrones, kind of pulling together to make sure they all fight together against the Klingons. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, I guess I'll mix my last 2 points into one. Then
okay, let's do it.
The effects are fantastic on the Orville, but I'm going to cancel that out entirely because I think both shows have fantastic effects. I think the Orville surprised everyone though, because they're like, it's a Seth MacFarlane silly show.
Yeah.
But then it came on and they're like, whoa, these effects are really good.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Because we were expecting it for Discovery. It's a Star Trek show. It's a tentpole for CBS All Access. It's going to have great effects. But then the Orville was just like, wow, all right. They're actually taking this seriously. But my last point was that they have a laugh out loud funny moments on the Orville, and it's lighthearted, but at the same time still pulls off those meaningful and thought-provoking moments from the old Star Trek series. So I just think it's really enjoyable, very palatable, easy to watch. It's not bad at all. I think it's a good compliment to give. So
yeah,
that's kind of my final defense of the Orville.
Fair enough.
Whereas the Discovery, it might take itself too seriously, and it might go down a path people don't like, and it's not going to be palatable for everybody. Maybe too many Klingon scenes, too much subtitles. Whereas everybody can watch the Orville and enjoy it.
So really what you're saying is because your expectations for the Orville are extremely low, your expectations are always exceeded.
Absolutely.
Good. I guess that makes sense. I'll give you that one. All right. So now let's talk about the real winner.
I don't think so, man. Actually, as of right now, I'm enjoying the Orville legitimately more than Discovery.
Here's the thing. Let's bust into it.
But here's the thing. I know I'm going to eventually like Discovery a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more profound and better. And I can't wait to meet like the main cast and Jason Isaacs and all this stuff. So I know I'm going to like it better. But right now, I've seen more of the Orville. It's been very fun and to watch, but that's where I'm at now.
So here's my problem with the Orville, and I think that what the point I made about them not knowing how to advertise it speaks to it.
Absolutely.
It has a bit of an identity crisis.
Yeah,
it
like
was
they marketed
advertised
it terribly
as this madcap kind of over the top sitcom comedy, and it's not that. But that being said, there are giant dry patches where there is just no humor interjected.
Right.
Like, I can't say it's a comedy, but that being said, there are some moments where it gets uncharacteristically funny.
True. It's like there's madcap funny moments in a show that's just Star Trek. It's like, it's weird. It's
right.
like,
Yeah. Take Star Trek The Next Generation, that feel, and you're absolutely right. They really copied that feel. And then make every third scene have someone just saying something that like is inappropriate that nobody in that setting would actually ever say.
Right. Like, did you watch the most recent episode?
No, I only watched the first two. I only had time for those.
Oh, like they have to explain to the robot, because they call the robot somebody a dick, and the robot's like, why would you call him a dick? And then he goes, what's a dick? And he shows him a picture or something, and they explain it. It's like they took like 5 minutes to explain about what that means to call someone a dick. So yeah, and then the next scene will be a real serious scene about relations between another species or something. So it's a little confused. But I'm not minding that because I kind of like how it breaks up the pace, But it's horrible to market that to a big audience because they're going to be confused. I get what you're saying.
Right, that's the thing. They had to pick an angle to go at, and I think that to sell it as a Seth MacFarlane vehicle, they went madcap comedy.
Right, they went too far.
It just doesn't. It isn't that. Now, mind you, there were some genuinely like very funny moments that made me laugh out loud. The one that I think of the most is when he's meeting his crew for the first time and he gets to one of his helmsmen and the guy's like, so the last captain was okay with us drinking soda at work. I just wanted to see how you were going to feel about that.
He's totally making it up. Yeah.
But just little things like that, just, got my goat.
And then later on, they show him like sneaking his little cup up and sipping on the soda. It's just like a human moment. Like, I like that. It just feels very like, but like there was one moment like that. I mean, maybe it's the only one I can think of on Discovery, when her and Saru, I guess his name was the first medical officer or science officer, they're both kind of fighting over the console to like tell the captain what's going on, and like they both are fighting over who can do it better. It was a little cute, little funny moment, made me giggle, but like there's not really any funny moments in those 2 episodes so far. I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree with that,
and I hope they don't go all serious all the time, that there are some funny, lighthearted moments, because there were in Star Trek all the time back in the day.
We'll see. I was sort of confused about how they were setting up certain characters because I didn't understand that we would be dealing with an entirely different cast, basically.
Right.
Starting next episode.
Yeah, basically.
And so because I was like, there's no setup for like a comic relief character of any sort that there would normally be. Well, and now I'm realizing it's like, oh, we just haven't met that character yet.
Right. That's what I'm hoping. That'd be
like
the case.
That character will exist. They just didn't bother introduce them because everyone's dead.
Like Anthony Rapp, who was a guy from Rent back in the day. He's joining the main cast. And I think from what clip I saw, he's gonna be kind of the like angry, sarcastic kind of guy. So we'll have our angry guy in SVU.
But yeah, so I just thought that was interesting and kind of made the episode a little bit lopsided.
Yeah. I mean, I think we both need to give them time to breathe. Maybe we can revisit this at the end of both their seasons. We can kind of say like, how do they do? And we'll do a recap of this copycat cinema and be like, huh.
But yeah, the Orville's still early. Star Trek Discovery has the benefit of an entire genre to follow, the sort of the blueprint of, and Orville is trying to find its way. I hope that it figures out what it is quick, though.
And I'd be okay if it stayed the way it is with this kind of like catch you off guard, ridiculous, funny moments. I'm kind of liking that, but I just don't know if the mass audiences are going to be okay with that. And Fox is terrible at putting on good shows. Like when they have great shows, they put them out of order. They market them wrong, like they did with this one.
Yes, they did.
So they just always screw it up and get them canceled. So, but Seth MacFarlane is like, their golden child because he made them so much money. So
that's true. They kind of owe him a little bit.
Yeah, that's why
I think they owe him a little bit.
Well, they paid their debt now by giving him his own Captain Kirk show where he could just go around as the captain.
Yeah. But no, I don't have a giant problem with the Orville. I do strongly say that Star Trek Discovery was better, but I didn't dislike either, really.
Yeah, that's a pretty good thing to say, I suppose.
My one critique for Star Trek Discovery, the science officer Saru, or whatever the hell his name was,
mm-hmm.
I know that I can't remember the name of the guy playing him. Has been in Hollywood for Doug Jones, been forever, and that's great. His character is a little bit too Abe Sapien.
That's true. He's too much like his old character. It sounds almost exactly the same too.
Almost exactly the same, and the manner, like I'm like, oh, they might as well have literally just made it Abe Sapien.
I didn't even think about that.
It would have been just as believable because it's Star Trek.
He had to be in a water tank on the bridge.
Or that water neck thing that he wears.
That's right. Yeah.
Like that, that could be that character.
I totally forgot about that. But yeah, you're right. Sounds just like him too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my critique, is that I just feel like Doug Jones is maybe being a little bit too what I'm expecting.
Yeah, my critique of Discovery was that I didn't think Sonequa Martin Green was very strong acting-wise, but I think she'll obviously mature more as she goes on and become better. And the acting was pretty shitty in season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation, so I'll give them time to progress.
Yeah.
But
they've got time to make it better.
And this is her first show where she's a lead, so it's got to be a lot of pressure and difficult. So give her time, I say.
But I'm excited to see where the show goes.
Yeah,
I never saw that criminal disgraced angle coming. I'm excited to watch them play that angle.
Yeah, they didn't show that at all in the previews. We never knew that was coming.
Yeah,
nice little Vulcan.
Good on
pitch.
you. Oh yeah, which the captain broke out of in 2 seconds.
Yeah, maybe she's just not very good at it because she's not actually a Klingon. I'm not a Vulcan.
Or the captain just played dead when she did it.
He's like, oh, you did it right. You're so good at that.
The captain was just stunned that she would do that to her.
Yeah, so she just collapsed.
Oh, what?
Why are you pinching me?
Mutiny.
Weird. Oh, boy.
So, yeah, that's our Copycat Cinema TV edition for the Orville versus Star Trek Discovery. I say check them both out.
Yeah.
While I think Orville has some problems, it's still enjoyable.
Absolutely. They're both fun to watch. And I don't think they both come on the same night, so you can watch them throughout the week. Enjoy.
That's right. So now that moves us into the segment I've been sort of falling back on, and that's Would You Rather?
Yeah, more of these.
All right. Are you ready?
My mind is ready to be exercised.
Or Would You Rather?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you be a little bit dumber, but considerably more happy? Or a little bit smarter, but considerably less happy?
It wouldn't be worth it to be just a little bit smarter. If I was gonna be like a super genius and be considerably less happy, I'd take it. But no, I'd rather be a little dumber and happy.
I would also go a little bit dumber and happy.
Good.
All right. So would you rather live in a big, just the beautiful, the house of your dreams,
mm-hmm.
the house you always imagined, but you have to wallpaper it from floor to ceiling with gay pornography? Or would you rather live your whole life in a very modest apartment, but get to decorate it however you want?
I go modest apartment because I would want to have guests over all the time. I like having parties and TV show viewing parties and stuff, and I couldn't really do that if I had gay porn all over my walls. I have a very select group of my friends over for that, and not the rest.
I would go with gay porn mansion.
Yeah,
because you still have a mansion.
But you can't ever cover it up again.
No, that's the thing. That's not part of it. You can't ever change it. It's built into the house. Yeah. But no, I would definitely go gay porn mansion.
I'll take the gay porn mansion and then I'll sell it and buy a nice car.
You would get used to it after a while.
I wouldn't mind it. I'd be fine. I'd deal with it.
Yeah. That's true. I wouldn't be worried.
Yeah,
I'd be bringing friends over.
My mom would be horrified. That would really work out so well.
All right. Would you rather have to do the electric slide every time someone calls you by your full name, or crap your pants every time someone uses the word redundant? So not a super common word
No,
to
but
hear.
people don't say my full name very often either, so I'll take that one hands down.
Doing the electric slide.
Yeah.
I'm going to also do electric slide because I don't know how to do the electric slide.
You'll magically learn in this scenario.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would finally know it.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it either.
All right.
I don't know any of the wedding dances that are typically done because I don't take the time to learn them. I can't do the cha-cha whatever either.
Yeah, no, I'm good. All right. This is the final one.
Okay.
Would you rather have everything taste like bananas for the rest of your life or have your farts replaced by human screams?
Well, I eat almost every food in the world, but bananas is one of the very few foods I cannot eat. I think they're disgusting. The smell, the flavor, the taste, the consistency. So that'd be my nightmare. So no, my human scream farts.
I think I'm also going to go with human scream farts. It's because it'd be very scary on Halloween.
It'd be hilarious. Be sleeping in the middle of the night and wake up your partner. Oh, sorry, it was Red and I got in bed. I apologize.
Red, not in bed. And we brought it all around, folks. That's the entertainment you come for.
Absolutely.
You stay for our personalities. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, that's Would You Rather. Good job.
It was good. It was a good one. That was good.
It was.
All right, so that takes us on to trailer reviews.
Trailer reviews.
Oh my God.
Here at A Play on Nerds, we have spent years refining our exclusive trailer rating system.
At the low end of the scale, we have Don't Waste a Match. This movie is so bad that I wouldn't waste a single match to burn it, Fahrenheit 451 style.
And second from the bottom, we have We'll See. Maybe the trailer was too short. Maybe it was cut oddly. Or maybe we don't know what the hell we just watched.
We'll see. Up next, we have Give It a Buck. Whether you hit a Redbox, a dollar movie theater in the bad part of town, or a cheap online rental, give this movie a buck and enjoy it without breaking the bank.
And at the top of our rating system, we have Shut Up and Take My Money. The wallets have been charmed out of our pockets, and we are ready to make our hard-earned cash disappear.
And that's our patent-pending trailer rating system for A Play on Nerds.
So Steve found some very good sci-fi trailers for us this week. We have, first off, Osiris Child. Sci-fi something volume 1, it says.
Yeah, I don't understand. But it's supposedly in the distant future where we colonize other planets, and they use prison labor to colonize these planets.
Not a bad plan.
Not a bad plan. Free labor to go and work in dangerous situations.
How we made Australia.
That's right. That's how we did that. So, God, we're the worst.
Yep.
So this company man, or a police officer, enforcer of some sort, that works for this company that runs this whole thing, also as part of his deal gets to set up a home on the prairie.
Yeah, like below the giant floating prison thing.
Yeah,
I think.
So prisoners break free. They get loose. Basically, the company says they've got to blow up the whole area and call it a wipe.
But the hitch is his daughter's down there in that planet.
So he has to, against company rule or whatever, go down and get to his daughter, and he runs into one of the criminals, and the criminal helps him get there. And it looks like exactly what I'm going to expect.
Got it?
Yeah.
Keep that shoulder relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Which way did you miss last time?
Right.
So which way are you gonna aim this time?
I got it.
That's my girl!
Do you miss home?
This is home.
No, I mean Earth.
No. We're making history out here.
Prison colonies changed deep space exploration forever.
The prison has been breached. The prisoners are in possession of a lethal etholinide virus.
Most of what you just heard was a lie. It's a cover-up. The Raggeds broke free from the enclosure. There's carnage in the city. It's out of control. In 23 hours, we're gonna blow the reactors.
That's an entire decimation of colony.
I'm aware you have a little girl down there on the surface.
To them, it's just collateral damage.
I just saw you fall from the sky. I was escaping.
Prison's down here, not up there.
I have to save my daughter! Help me!
This is gonna be fun.
We won't be able to turn back.
We will endure.
cannot get there. She will die.
We will endure.
Company, 3 o'clock.
It's a big choice to turn your back on everything you once stood for.
We're gonna be fine, but we have to run now. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you growing up.
We will endure.
I need to know that you forgive me.
Even though I've never seen this story before, that I know exactly what's going to happen.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. The quality of the movie, like I was kind of surprised by the visual effects compared to what I saw in the rest of the film.
Yeah, like it's no known actors, but the visual effects look really good.
But yeah, maybe there's more to this movie than I'm giving it credit for.
Yeah, but the acting didn't look bad. The dialogue wasn't terrible. I thought it looked decent. It would be entertaining. So I was going to say, give it $1.
Yeah, I'm going to go with give it $1 also.
Be a great dollar rental or something like that.
Yeah. Catch it for 99 cents on iTunes.
Yeah. That way I like supporting original sci-fi. That takes a chance. It's tough to do. And it's not part of a pre-existing series. It takes no creativity. So it took a lot of work. Give them $1.
Yeah. And so the next one for Copycat Cinema is the Annihilation trailer, which is based off a book from what I am to understand.
Yes. I don't read, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that reading is either. And this one looks like I don't know, some sort of post-apocalyptic near future kind of scenario. Natalie Portman and a bunch of other scientist-looking people are carrying guns. And then there's weird color mirages that they walk into.
And then they're taken away and questioned by people saying, what'd you see? What it looked like? Was it sentient? Was it a carbon-based life form? So I took them to be like explorers seeking out new life, like in Star Trek. But they don't have much dialogue to explain what the hell's going on. So,
can you describe its form?
No.
Was it carbon-based?
I don't know.
Did it communicate with you?
It reacted to me.
You really have no idea what it was.
Did your husband contact you at any point while he was away?
No. It was his decision to go in. Why did my husband volunteer for a suicide mission? You have to tell me where he was, what he was doing. I need to know what's inside. I could save him.
Oh, well, I mean, I took it as like maybe an alien invasion.
Kind of.
Maybe.
Or maybe I thought maybe they were on that planet that belonged to some other species. But there's some kind of threat, obviously, because it's a lot of tension, you know.
And there's maybe some sort of monster at some point.
Right. You do see for like a split second, like kind of like almost like a gorilla-looking mouth roaring.
Yeah, or like almost a werewolf kind of muzzle.
Yeah.
Almost.
So it also has the same writer-director as Ex Machina. And that alone makes it shut up and take my money for me.
Shut up and take my money!
Because Ex Machina was so good. And I'm sad I didn't see it in the theater to support it. But yeah, it was really good. And I have a lot of faith in that writer-director. And Oscar Isaac is also in that, and he's in this. He didn't have a single word. He didn't have a single word in the trailer, but who knows what he's doing.
I'm going to go ahead and give this one a we'll see.
We'll see.
Fair enough.
Because honestly, I didn't get enough information from this trailer. Our varying opinions are to speak to this to really know what the heck this movie is.
Yeah, I think that's on purpose, so kind of keep it like very mysterious. And it kind of felt Arrival-ish.
Almost.
As well.
They're hiding something.
Yeah. Right. Something weird is going on.
That's right.
It's like Arrival mixed with Mother. Mother!
Exclamation point.
So I still haven't seen it, but man, all these other podcasts are talking about how divisive that movie is. And it's like, it has a great message. No, it's a terrible message. And it's like, oh, it has these offensive scenes. I walked out of the theater. I'm like, can't be that bad. People are so sensitive, about these movies. Like, who cares?
Not us.
We'll have to see Mother and check it out and review.
Mother!
But
yeah, all right. Well, good trailer reviews.
Yeah, does that take us to some radical recommends?
It does take us to some radical recommends.
Ooh.
Recommend.
If
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
What do you recommend I do?
I recommend Pleasant.
All right, I have two this week.
Oh, cool.
So one, I'll go with my first one, is new to Netflix, a Netflix original, American Vandal.
Okay.
Got recommended, got just thrown in my face, and finally I said, fine, we'll check it out. It is in the style of Serial and a lot of these other darker kind of docudrama style,
like true crime
sort of things that Anna absolutely loves. And somebody did a film version, kind of a comedy about that. And instead of it being somebody who murdered a bunch of people, it's this kid who's getting expelled from school and being brought up on criminal charges for drawing dicks on 27 teachers' cars.
And they play it all serious, like it's a
right.
deep investigative report.
This kid in the AV club is making this documentary called American Vandal, where he's looking at the facts surrounding the case and like coming up with all these different, disproving facts and tearing apart the school board's case against the kid. It's got some really good twists and is just exceptionally well done.
I have to see that.
Like, this is the sort of thing that could have gone really bad, and it was done perfectly. So we just finished it over the course of 3 or 4 nights. I can't recommend it enough. American Vandal, check it out, and then let me know your theory as to who did it.
Who wrote the dicks?
Because they left it open with all these different theories, and they actually talk about that, how they want you to, like, he doesn't want to tell you what happened because he doesn't know the truth. He wants you to look at the facts and decide.
That's awesome. So it's mainly a comedy, though, right? Ish.
Yeah, there's really funny moments, but there are I don't want to label it a comedy because it really isn't, but it's not a real documentary, obviously.
Right.
It's somewhere in the middle.
That's cool. Sounds great.
Highly recommend American Vandal.
Another Netflix original. I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but I think it released exclusively on Netflix, a movie called The Bad Bunch. It was also just on my screen, recommended for me, and Kate just turned it on automatically, and we watched it. And it's with Jason Momoa, who's playing Aquaman, that guy, and also another actress I'd never seen before, very young, but she was in a few British movies, but she plays a Southerner in this one. It's post-apocalyptic world, and basically they send off all their criminals off to the Badlands, basically, and they're fighting over food. It's just a desert. There's nowhere to go. And so she's thrown out there after she gets out of jail. Once you get out of jail, you just go to the Badlands, basically. She's looking for food, and she runs into these cannibals. They capture her, take her arm and her leg, and so she's just stuck there, but she somehow manages to escape. She's helped by this creepy old man. I won't give you the whole story, but I'll give you at least this much. This creepy guy who has a cart, and it turns out to be Jim Carrey, and like a giant beard. Like, I barely recognized him. He was severely like sunburnt and everything. It was really weird. And she's taken to this town, and the leader of the town is Keanu Reeves. So Keanu Reeves comes out, and he's like talking to the whole town. He has like a harem of women, and it's just a very weird world it's set up. But the story develops. You meet all these interesting, weird characters. It's not much talking. It's like kind of like Mad Max in that way. There's not a lot of dialogue, but a lot of,
I respect that.
Yeah, a lot of pretty scenes and vistas, and it's just follow this small story of this girl and how she works out her life, and it's interesting. But yeah, worth a watch.
What's it called? The Bad Bunch. I did watch a trailer for that at some point.
Yeah, it was good.
But did not realize it was on Netflix. We'll have to check it out.
It won't change your life, but it's an enjoyable movie.
Okay. Fair. I like that assessment. All right. So my last article recommend, and I think recommend is too strong of a word here.
Okay.
But I recently got to watch 2 big summer blockbuster movies that I didn't go see in theaters.
Very cool.
And I think that one of them maybe did not get a fair shake. So I watched the most recent Transformers film, Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh, dear Lord.
So we've talked about Transformers with me a lot, and I defend 2.5 of the Transformers films.
Sure, I can see that.
And because I admit what they are, they're popcorn flicks. This last one with Mark Wahlberg was terrible, and then The Last Night is inexcusably bad.
Oh, no.
There are so many plots going on. One of the main characters is sort of portrayed as like this young woman, 13, 14-year-old, but then there's a lot of shots of her running and just cleavage bolt. Like they're really mixed messages on what the hell you're supposed to be looking at.
Oh, God.
There's so many characters introduced and then killed moments later to the point where you just don't care anymore. They throw away Transformers and Autobots and Decepticons like tissue paper. They're just in one scene. They present a character and they're gone.
It's just horrible filmmaking.
It's
horrible
just,
storytelling.
It's insane. Yeah, and then the whole thing with Merlin and it's insanity. It is insanity, and it's like 2.5 hours long.
And they should be ashamed of themselves.
So I took a look at this on Rotten Tomatoes, and at the time it had like a 15%.
Too much.
Let me do a quick update. I want to make sure this is accurate for our listeners.
As of Sunday, the 1st of October.
All right, 15%.
All right.
So, after learning this fact, I then put on another movie that I missed this summer, and that is Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
I didn't see that yet either.
So, my expectations of this film were low, but since I was on Rotten Tomatoes already, I took a look, and The Mummy has 16%.
Wow.
So, pretty much on the same kind of level as Transformers. So, I watched it, and the whole time, despite the fact that it was not very good, and the characters were not well drawn, a lot of things didn't make sense, the whole time I had to sit and think to myself, you know what? This is more than 1% better than Transformers the last night.
Least.
Like, the more I watched, I was like, if this is 1%, like, that's a big percent. Because Transformers last night was incomprehensible. At least The Mummy has a central plot and a main character you follow throughout the whole thing.
Somebody took a screenwriting course for that movie, at least.
Right. Right. And so, while I am not radically recommending The Mummy, I think that it maybe didn't get a fair shake because it is certainly more than 1% better than the shitstorm that was Transformers the last night.
See, my thing is that I'm fine. I've liked all the Transformer movies enough, even the Mark Wahlberg one, as I knew what they were going to be, dumb popcorn flick, like action explosions. I do wish people wouldn't see them so much in theaters so that we can get better quality films out there. But if it's already existing, I'll see it and enjoy it. Not in theaters because I don't want to support it like that. But they're garbage. But it's just getting worse and worse. Like you're saying, they're getting less and less quality as they go along. Like they don't care anymore.
Yeah. So I'm not saying check out The Mummy. I'm just saying really don't check out Transformers the last night.
Right.
Like if you have both hanging off a cliff in a scenario where you can like only save one,
save The Mummy.
Save The Mummy. Let go Transformers last night and cast it into the sea where it belongs.
So you want to waste a match on that one? It's worth burning.
I would burn it.
Burn it? Yes, burn it.
So no one else can watch it. I mean, come on.
I know that we got rid of that, but I just would have to. It's my immediate like offensive reaction to it.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party.
Well, after that, we have a couple thanks to give out. One to Sean Vanderloo, who tweeted, "Excellent episode. Enjoyed the heck out of it for our last episode of Game of Thrones season 7 recap."
Aw, thanks, Mr. Vanderloo.
Yeah, and Daniel Hitch on Facebook responded to that same episode. He said, "Love all the theories. I'm still betting Jaime having been called the Kingslayer all the show will kill the Night King." Which is an interesting thought. Yeah, he's the Kingslayer. He might kill the Night King. He says, after Night King turns Cersei into an Ice Queen and turns the baby into an Ice Prince or Princess, Night King and Jaime fight. Night King tries to kill him and turn him, but touches the metal hand, so it fails. He stabs the Night King, which fails to kill him. Night King in turn stabs Jaime, only for Brienne to rescue Jaime at the last second and use the other half of the ice sword they melted down in season 4 to finish the job. It'll be the only deed entered on the Book of Deeds Joffrey mocked Jaime for back in season 4. Wow, I don't remember that ice sword. What is that all about?
So ice was the family sword of House Stark. It was that giant one that's shown in the first episode when Ned Stark takes off that deserter's head.
Yeah.
So it comes with him down to King's Landing. After his death, Tywin takes it and has somebody rework the Valyrian steel into 2 blades. One becomes Oathkeeper, which Jaime is given to Jaime and then sent with Lady Brienne. And the other one becomes Widow's Wail, which is given to Joffrey as a gift for his name day or his wedding.
Right.
His wedding. and then ends up becoming Jaime's sword.
Wait, so who has Oathkeeper now?
I think Brienne does.
Oh, how'd she get it?
Well, because Jaime sent it with her. That's why it's called Oathkeeper, because it was her carrying on his oath to Lady Stark that he would get her daughters home.
Oh, that was originally his oath?
Yeah.
Interesting. I forgot all about that. Not that we'll watch this whole series again.
It was an agreement he made with her, I think, when he was in captivity.
Yeah, good memory for this
Maybe.
shit.
I don't know. Between the show and the book, I could be wrong.
Interesting. Well, hopefully we get a chance to rewatch the whole show before the year and a half it takes for the next season to come out.
Oh, we're watching it at least a dozen times between now and then. Don't worry about that.
Well, I think that about covers our wonderful episode 83. Is that right?
That's right. You were here for the first edition of Copycat Cinema TV edition. Thanks for joining us, Internet. We'll keep being your nerdy hosts as long as you keep being our nerdy audience. Thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Thanks for listening to A Play on Nerds. Find all of this content and even more nerdy news, reviews, and fun at www.aplayonnerds.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so you know the exact second we release new podcasts, articles, and other nerdy content. We know you're impatient. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Podbean, Buzzsprout, Podomatic, and whatever the hell else you use. Also, please leave us a rating and review on your chosen podcast platform so we can be discovered by even more nerds like yourself. However you do it, check us out. And how.
Working to try to earn her respect back, I guess. Who knows? It's going to be great.
Is that a dog?
No. So that's another fun thing. Our apartment's had some fun work being done on it. I forgot to mention this in the weekly update.
Okay.
We had all the windows replaced.
Oh.
But that meant that we basically had to be out of the apartment for 2 days. While they were replacing our bathroom window, they found wood rot.
Oh, geez.
And so then that was like 4 days with open walls in the bathroom.
Well, thankfully you're renting, right? So you don't have to pay for any of this crap?
Yeah. But so then they came in and they did some like minor repairs, like fixed a leak in the sink and all this stuff. Then we get an email that they're coming and like water blasting, like cleaning the place.
So I did to your mom last night.
Yeah, bam. And then we get another email saying that all of this coincidentally lines up with a random inspection being done by the city of San Jose.
Oh, good.
On Wednesday. They now have painters outside that they neglected to tell us about. Apparently everyone else knew, but we didn't receive the email, so we left our car in the parking lot and got yelled at. So they're now out, like literally outside my window.
Oh, that's
right
what that was.
On our second floor, like scraping paint and doing stuff.
Gotcha. So it wasn't a dog.
There'll be a little bit of that noise. It's been a fun couple weeks.